welcome to Pastels Freebie. This is going to be my first art video. I'm going to teach you how to draw Harry Potter. So if you follow along this tutorial, it will be very easy and very cute. So let's begin. So we have the top half of Harry Potter. I drew him in my tiny book. So I drew his hair, and then I also drew this peace sign. And then I also drew his book and then his gown to kind of show you what it's going to look like. And I also drew this reference before this video to kind of show you what it looks like on real paper, which is the same size paper that I'm going to be drawing on. So I also have his head and then his clothes. So I'm going to bring my book and my reference in the video at certain times to show you what's going to look like. So anyways, let's begin. We're going to kind of like draw his head, which is going to be like this round circle like that. Don't make it too high, don't make it too low, and make sure it's in the center. So to begin, you're just going to want to kind of sketch a circle. Make sure you have enough space on the bottom for his clothes, and make sure you have enough space at the top for the background if you're going to draw one. So then after that, you're just going to want to do his neck, and let me bring my reference. I'm going to do his shoulders. So his shoulders are really wide. I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm just doing his shirt, and then his hands, and then his gown, where his gown is going to end. You don't have to do a sketch, but I'm just going to do this so it's easier. I also did his book, and then I also did his shoes to kind of give me an idea about how long and wide we're going to draw him. So now I'm going to start beginning drawing him, and somehow I switched pencils. Yeah, forget about that. Anyways, I'm just going to like draw his head. I'm not going to sketch it out this time since this is what his head is going to finally be. So I also prefer if you do it in a U shape. Even though we drew it in a circle sketch, you can do it in a U shape so it's easier, and you can just kind of like finish it off with the circle that I made, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna do this U shape for his head. Make sure it's wide so that his eyes and his glasses fit, since he does have glasses. So then we're just gonna finish the top of the head with the circle that we had sketched earlier. I'm just making the dome shape a little higher than usual. So after that, we're just gonna tidy that up a little bit. And now we're gonna want to do his ears and neck. So let me bring back my reference. If you look at my reference, his hair, he has bangs, so they're kind of like messy bangs. It doesn't really have to be the same. So I drew like triangles, some straight lines, and like some lines by themselves, loose hair, as you can see, and then his hair is kind of like a dome shape at the top. So let's draw that on the real page. So we're just gonna do his bangs. So his bangs are really easy. You're just gonna want to do like these little triangles. It doesn't really matter. You can make it custom as much as you want. I did this part where his hair parted, and then I also did like some loose hair, some lines, and then like a straight line to show his hair. After you're done with that, let me show you my reference. We're gonna do the top of his hair, but first we need to do his ears. So his ears are just kind of like a half moon shape, kind of like a crescent. So we're just going to do that. I like to do it kind of at the top of the head so it's easier to draw the hair. So I'm just going to do a line across the face from where the ear starts to the other side of the face to give me a reference to make sure that it's straight across. So now that I'm done with that, we're just going to start doing his hair. So his hair, to start off, we're just going to do one line that goes up from each ear, just like that. And then we're going to do kind of this dome shape. You want to make it thick enough so that it looks like he has hair. Don't make it too flat. Don't make it too big. So make it like a good distance away from his bangs. Okay, after that, we're going to start doing his clothes and his neck. So what you want to do is just erase your reference lightly. If you made a reference, this is so you can still see it a little when you're drawing your final product. Just don't erase it too much or you're not able to see it. So after that, we're just going to work on his neck. So it's just two lines coming from his head. You want them slightly angled, and then you're just going to draw a curve at the bottom. So let me show you my reference. So if you look at his shoulders, they're kind of like a shape that is like kind of angled, and then it goes all the way down. So if you draw that, you're going to do one on each side of the neck. So you're gonna do like this kind of like a curved shape on one side of the neck, and then you're gonna want to adjust that a little so that it looks reasonable, and then you're just gonna do that to the other side. Make sure that it looks very similar to the same side, and I'm just gonna cut that off by doing his hand that he has on that side, that he's holding a peace sign. So then I'm just gonna continue the other side. So I'm just gonna continue it until where his arm stops because he's holding a book. So it's just gonna be kind of like a curved shape that curves into his body, and then you're gonna want to do a line on top and connect it. That's how you're gonna want to do his sleeve. So then we're just gonna want to do his book. It's just gonna be a rectangle. So it's just gonna be one line from his sleeve, and then you're gonna want to do a line next to where the sleeve ends. Okay, so after you adjust how the book looks, we're going to erase the line that we just made next to the sleeve and do his fingers. So his fingers are kind of like little skinny ovals. You want to do them like the curve or the end, kind of above where the book will end, where the sleeve of the book will end, if that makes sense, to show that his fingers are holding it. So now we're going to work on his gown. But first, before we do the gown, we want to do his arms. So we're going to work on his arms. So you're going to kind of do an oval some distance away from the top of his gown so that we have enough room for his hand and fingers, because his hand and fingers will be touching the top of his gown where his shoulders are. So after you do that, done with that part. But first, let me show you what his fingers are going to look like. So it's just like his palm and then his tiny fingers. So I'm just going to leave that as a reference just to show you. So now we're just going to continue his gown. You're just going to do 2 straight lines coming down from both of his sleeves. So let me show you my reference. It has 2 straight lines, and then also has like this line in the middle that separates it. It's kind of like 2 flaps. But first you have to do the outline. So just go ahead and do your 2 lines. Actually, hold on. Let me erase that line real quick. I don't want it to be touching the book that much, so I'm just gonna erase it really quickly. So yeah. Okay, so now we're actually gonna start working on his arm, or I guess you could say his right side. We're gonna start working on his right side. So after you do the line from where you think the gown is gonna end, you're gonna want to do his sleeve and his arm that's holding the peace sign. So his sleeve that it has a V shape like over here that's thick to show that his sleeve is draping. So to better fully understand, this is me trying to show you that it's draping. Anyways, to start off, we're gonna want to do kind of like 3/4 of an oval, a skinny oval. It's gonna kind of be like a U shape or curve. And to finish the top of it, you're gonna do a V shape. And you can make it really thick right now. You don't have to, but you wanna make sure when you color it that it's really thick. And then you want to kind of do like these 2 curves from each side to show that it's like holding the hand, or like it's over the hand, or the arm. So the arm is going to be 2 lines coming from each side of the sleeve. Make sure that the shoulder touches the arm. So let me show you my reference and my hand to show you the peace sign. So the peace sign, it's really easy to draw. So the first thing you want to do is do the curve where it connects the thumb and the palm. So it's just going to be a slight curve, kind of like the letter C. And then you want to do the thumb. It's going to be kind of like a long oval shape. Make sure it's a skinny oval shape. It's going to be kind of like 3/4 of the way to the other side. And then you're going to want to do the other finger. So if you look here, it's kind of like, there's 2 ways you can draw it. There's one way you can do like a straight line and then the 2 fingers. Or, let me erase it real quick. You can do like no line. You can just do it like straight up coming from the thumb. So now I'm going to show you how to do it just straight up coming from the thumb, no line. So you can decide on how you want to draw that. And then we want to do the other 2 fingers. So there's the pinky and the other finger. So we're just going to do the pinky first so we know where the other other finger is going to go and how long it is. So we're just going to connect the pinky to the other line, which is the other side of the arm. So now we're going to want to do the other finger, which is right over here. We're just going to do like this curve. The thumb is going to cut the finger off. So if you look, the rest of the finger is under the thumb. So we're just going to do a curve that's on the top of the thumb, and then we're going to finish it off with a tiny, tiny curve under the thumb to show that the finger is tucked under the thumb. Okay, so overview, to make sure that you have it all. So we have our skinny thumb, which is an oval shape. We have our pinky on the side, and then we have our finger next to the pinky, which is sort of cut off by the thumb, and our two peace sign fingers. So after that, I'm going to do his pants and his shoes. So if you haven't already predicted about where his robe is going to end, I want you to go ahead and do that so it's easier to do his pants and his shoes. We're just going to do his pants and his shoes first, so we're done with like the outside of him. So let me bring my reference. If you look, his pants, they're really, really simple. They're kind of like two rectangles. They're both angled. The lines are both angled at the inside, and then we have his legs and shoes. So let me just first show you how to do his pants. So they're kind of, like I said, they're two rectangles. You want to make sure that they're angled. The line that's facing towards each other are angled. So I'm going to angle the pants, and I'm going to show you why. If you were to draw the pants through the gown, it will look more realistic. That's what it would look like. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We're going to stop it at the bottom of the gown. But I want you to draw it angled. Instead of drawing the pants right next to each other, or else it will look really, really awkward. You want to make sure that the pants are angled and they're like apart from each other, not together. We're now going to do his legs and his shoes. So I don't have that much space, which is okay. I can adjust how the shoes and legs will be. So if I bring back my reference, I had way more space, but let's just start drawing the legs. So the legs are basically just two lines coming down from his pants. I'm not making them too long because I need to save space for my shoes. So after the two lines, you just want to curve it. These are going to show the little bit of his leg. After you curve it, it's going to kind of be like a neck. That's how you want to draw your legs. But anyways, you're going to want to do a shoe. So a shoe, it's kind of like a big curve. And then you're going to do a straight line, and then you're going to finish it off with a straight curve. So after you do that, you're going to want to do like these shoelaces. So the curve and then the line at the bottom. And then you're going to want to do a straight line connecting the leg to the rest of the shoe. And then you're going to want to do the shoelaces. So now we're done with the outside of the shoe and the shoelaces. And now we're going to work on the fun part, which is his clothes. So we're going to work on his robe, his badge right here, and then his clothes, or his shirt, I guess. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is kind of do like these two flaps that are in his robe. This is important so you can see the clothes on the inside, and so it also looks more realistic. So one flap is going to be covering the other one to kind of show like that one is over the other. So how you're going to do it, you're also going to kind of do a V shape, but it's going to be a much longer one. So you're going to do one on the left side that's kind of like blocked by the book. So we're going to make the other line kind of like go down more. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase this and adjust it. So I'm going to kind of make it like go parallel next to the book, and then I'm going to bring it all the way down to where the robe ends. So I want to make sure that it's kind of like a slanted. And then we're going to want to do the other line. It is going to be blocked by the book, but you're going to want to do this tiny line that shows that it's connected to the other side of the robe. So yeah, so I'm erasing a lot. I just want you to know that if if you're drawing without Sharpie, you will erase it at least one time, especially in this tutorial, because you have to make sure that the lines are straight and things like that. So now we're just gonna add buttons onto the robe so that it looks a little cooler. So I just did 3 buttons on each side, but only 2 on one side because one button is covering the other button because they're kind of together. So if you look at my reference, you see that he has multiple shirts. So he has like a suit shirt with a tie, and then he kind of like has this fleece sweater. And yeah, I threw my pencil. Yeah. Now that I got my pencil, we can start drawing again. So you want to estimate where his fleece sweater. Why do I keep saying fleece? I don't even know if it's fleece or not. I just like the sound of it. Fleece sweater. So anyways, you want to estimate where it's going to end. You don't want to draw it all across the gown because obviously it's going to look weird since it's hidden behind the gown. So it's just going to be a tiny line between the two flaps of where the gown ends, or between the two lines of where the gown ends. You want to make sure it's reasonable, like, would his pants be really high or really low? So you want to make sure that the line is kind of in the middle so that his shirt, how long it is reasonable, and how long his pants are is reasonable. So after you do that, we're going to work on this V shape. So it's just a V shape to show where his sweater starts and where it ends. And then we're going to work on his suit slash tie, I think. So it's just 2 angled lines coming from each side. And then you want to go up, a line that goes up, and you want to connect it. The line that connects it, it's really, really small in length. And then you want to do the tie. The tie is like a V shape, and then it goes down. Now I'm going to erase his V and make it a little bit higher, because I think it'll look better like that. So now we're done with his clothes. But wait, there's one more thing. We have to do his Gryffindor badge. It's like the most important thing on his clothes. So if you look at both of my references, I drew the Gryffindor badge. I drew it easy and simple. I didn't want to do too many details because that's what this channel is about. I want to do it easy and simple, in a simple way. So I'm going to draw this picture to kind of guide us. So the first thing you want to do is draw the shape. So it's kind of like a shield or like a home plate in baseball or softball. So if you look at this picture, it has like 4 quadrants. It has 4 different colors. So there's like red and gold slash yellow. So we're just going to go ahead and do 4 kind of places or blocks in the shield shape. Just want to do like 1 line down and 1 line across. So now we're going to do the outline. So it kind of has like these like flame. It kind of looks like a phoenix. So we're gonna kind of do like the outline of that. So the top, it kind of has an armor head. So I'm just gonna like do the outline of the armor head and like the outline of the wings and things like that. So you want to make sure that it's simple. So yeah, after you do that, we'll start working on the face. So let me bring my reference and my other one to show you. So if you look at my reference, I kind of have like these 2 triangles. They're both angled to kind of show like a funny look, a silly look. So they're really simple. So you just want to do 2 triangles. They don't have to be perfect. Make sure they're above the ears and near the hair. Now we want to work on his face. So he has his lightning bolt, which is one of the most important things, and his glasses and his eyes. So if you look at my reference, notice that his glasses and his eye shape are kind of similar. They're both ovals. So let me draw that on my real paper. So I'm just gonna do like this oval shape in the U shape. They're gonna be they're gonna try to make them as similar as possible. You want to make sure that they're not too close because the glasses have a middle line in between connecting the 2 frames together. So you want to make sure that they're close enough, but you also want to make sure that they're not too big so that you have enough room on the outside of the eyes to draw his glasses frame, since his glasses frame are the same shape of his eyes. They're both round. So I'm just going to adjust my eyes, try to make them as similar as possible so it looks reasonable. So I'm just making these oval shapes. Don't make one too big, don't make one too small. Just make sure they're as similar as you can make them. So now we're gonna do his glasses. So as like I said, his glasses are kind of like an outline of his eyes. So you want to draw them like really close to the outline of his eye, and they're basically just the same exact round oval shape. And then we want to do a line in between connecting the two frames, and then a line on each side of the glasses connecting to the end of the face, or the end of the head, I guess you could say. Make sure that they're one line. Make sure that they're somewhat straight. Don't make them really, really straight, or else it'll look really weird. But anyways, now we're going to start on doing his eyes. So his eyes, I'll walk you through it. It's just two kind of like half circles, and then one little small circle next to it. And then we're going to draw a star kind of like under the two circles. And then we're going to shade in the rest. So we're not going to shade in the two circles, and we're not going to shade in the star. We're just going to shade in the part around that. So just go ahead and do that on both of the eyes. And now we're going to work on his mouth. I just did a simple smile, and yeah. So now it's the most important part, which is his lightning bolt. So the lightning bolt is pretty easy since it's tucked under his hair. So we're just going to do like one kind of an angled line. Make sure it's in the center. So we're just going to do an angled line coming down from his head. Don't make it too long. And then we're just going to kind of angle it to the left and then angle it down. So that's how you're going to do it. And now I'm going to go ahead and Sharpie and color it. So I'm finally done with Harry Potter. I hope you guys thought this tutorial was cute and easy and helpful. I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you for watching Pastels Phoebe. Bye!